Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? This is the last video of the day. Um, I'm going to tell y'all what I thank y'all. For anybody who want to do the donations, that's TBKC DOGS at Cash App. I appreciate it as we come closer and closer to this thing for the podcast. I will have the logo here. I'm thinking I should have it by this weekend. Hopefully, I know my guy's been busy. But anyway, man, I want to take y'all back. Way back. Man, one of the greatest shows, and I always tell y'all about this particular show, man. But one of the greatest shows that I ever went, and I just can't start off the year without giving my guy, Larry Durant, his love. And the reason being, is because Larry Durant, and I think Larry passed from everything that everybody's been telling me. We all been trying to find him. So if you did pass, my good brother, much love to you. I'm gonna make sure you get your flowers. But Larry had this show. You know what I mean? We was on the MSN boards that time, and Larry kept saying, "This is gonna be a bad moment. It's gonna be a bad moment." You know what I mean? Come on out. And I'm thinking, okay, dog show. But then I get to the building, and it's a big-ass building, dog. Well, okay. Then I see cars and shit. I'm talking about in the show, I see all these booths. And I'm sort of like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm sort of awestruck. I'm like, damn, this is wow. Then I look over here, and this blue gangster over there. I look over here, it's 21 Blackjack over here. I look up, and it's a picture that some of you have seen with Nemesis and Lil Rose next to each other. Okay, this shit live. Then I see, Monster, and I see Caesar Milan, the real Caesar Milan. I see the brothers from the West Coast Customs show, you know what I mean? Run into a couple rappers out there, you know what I'm saying? Ran into a famous actress out here. I'm like, ooh, this shit lit. It's this wild. King Lion was there. Monster J was there. It was probably like one of the livest events that I've ever been to in my life, and actually got asked to judge, on the show. And my first dog that I pulled, believe it or not, was the legendary Paco. That's how cold my eyes is. Believe this. Marco will tell y'all this story. I pulled Paco, and I argued for Paco. Nobody else wanted Paco in that ring. Marco will tell y'all, I seen that dog. I said, me and Marco didn't know each other personally at this time. Paco was young, but that was our first time meeting, and then we built our friendship from there. But I said, he got to be in there. They wanted to put a bunch of the bigger dogs in there. I said, that dog got to be in there. That is the future of the American. But I put this, my mama been gone for a long time, y'all. I put this on my mama. I told him, because we had a panel of judges. It was 5 of us. I told him, I said, look here. That dog got to be in the ring. That's my pick. No, but what about... That dog got to be in the ring. I told him that day. I remember looking over, and Dave Wilson was just like... Dave was just sort of like lost, because he's like, T, what are you doing? Like, he like, who? But I never forget, because I seen him walking like in the back. He trying to hide. As usual, he don't want no smoke. He just walking around. But it wasn't like that contentious. But, we going to have our dog men debate. It was very fun, but it was a very nice crowd in there also. You're talking probably in that building, you're probably talking 1,500 people, easy. So, of course, one judge got Monster J in the ring. Then another judge, had, I do believe it was, whatchamacallit, 21 Blackjack. Another judge wanted, the angry ass dog. What's his name? Y'all know my memory is terrible right now. But I tell you, I will think of it in a minute. But it was a nice little panel of dogs in there. And if you've never been on like the live when I talk about this, yes, that's the show where it was so packed, and they had models in the ring, they had girls in the ring. King Lion, that is the angry dog. I know a lot of y'all like, damn, T, you don't remember that? So anyway, this shit was wild. And I got to start the year off by telling this story for a multitude of reasons, because y'all heard this part of the story. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't hear the rest. So anyway, King Lion is turned up, right? They bring him in the ring and they do some Hannibal Lecter. He really got rolled in like Hannibal Lecter on this thing. And when they opened it, it was like a prison that they had. Dead serious. It was tall too. It was probably like 6 feet tall, and with the wheels, it was probably like 6'6", 6'7". And they did, these big brothers got them up. He come out, he goes absolutely ape shit crazy for minutes, and the crowd's just screaming and screaming and screaming, and you know what I mean. And the funniest thing about it is, it's like even Caesar Milan was clapping for this shit. It was weird, but the culture was so turned up at this point in time. It was crazy. So while that was going on, this young lady, I don't know why, in Sam Hell, she decided she wanted a pet monster, but he bit the shit out of her. He got her from like here all the way up. It was the weirdest cut I've ever seen on a finger. And yeah, I know my finger is ugly. That's the one I messed up in that accident. But man, that was going on. So we had to get her some medical attention. This is all at once, you know what I'm saying? And it came down to the end, and it was just a people's choice thing. And the people kept going crazy. And needless to say, after I got Paco in there, Paco tore their ass up. And you know what I mean? They end up bullshitting on the award. They was like, oh, we got to split it. We can't figure out who was winning and all that shit. If I ain't mistaken, they end up giving it to King Lion. But after that, right? And this was some deep shit. After that, now keep in mind, I hadn't popped Hallie out just yet. This was a conversation that I think sort of changed American bully history, because Paco was not wanted. Keep that in mind. At that particular show, that style of bully, nobody had really seen that. Keep in mind, Lil Ro was picking up steam at that time. But Lil Ro was picking up steam, and he was a little bit older. Like, people just weren't looking for little bullies. You know what I mean? Lil Ro was more popular because Mike at Devil's Den had put him up. And of course, he was Dave Wilson's dog. But he was just starting to reach his steam, like where people was like, oh, that's Lil Ro, okay. And what happened is, after that shit, me and Dave had a conversation. And it wasn't just us two, but everybody sort of start coming to the conclusion, like, them little dogs, man. Them little dogs is motherfucker. Them little dogs is motherfucker. You know what I mean? And really, that particular show would launch American bully history into the next phase, because regardless of what anybody tells you, the big dogs, they were the show. But it had been big dogs for years. At this time, everybody in that room saw something different, because the women really loved Paco. Now, y'all know how this shit go. You might not like satin sheets, but the ladies do. You know what I mean? You might not like all of the smell goods through the house, and your house smelling all flowery, but the ladies do. You know what I mean? You might not even like that shirt that you have in the closet, but you wear it because the ladies do. Paco showed everybody that day he was the crossover dog. It was no more of just the big intimidating dogs that, ladies found them sexy because they was big and intimidating. But now you had cute and cuddly with a little bit of intimidation. From that moment on, the pockets skyrocketed. I'm telling you. Paco took off. Man, he went from being unknown at that show to within 3 months, all you heard was Paco, 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 Paco. And at the same time, like most people don't understand this. Paco, this because Little Ro's ascension was so late. Paco and Little Ro almost took off at the same time. Little Ro was a little bit ahead of Paco, but Little Ro was only picking up for about a year before Paco, and he was picking up. Little Ro's true like blow up moment was Paco. When Paco started being like that dog, Little Ro's, shit blew up even higher. Then came along with Hef. Then came along Hallie. And the worldwide fame of the American Bully, regardless of what dogs you like, hinged heavily on Paco, Hef, and Remy. Remy was the dog who was still holding it down for the other look of the American Bully, the sort of bigger standard type American Bully, but he was also very, very pretty, so it made it easy for the ladies to like him and everybody to like him also. But if you talk to anybody in that early part of the American Bully thing, if they're being real, Paco carried the hell out of the American Bully. The rivalry between him and Hef was just off the charts. It was just off the charts. It carried everything. It carried the first shows. People was coming to that first show. Who's going to win? Paco, Hef, or Hallie? You know what I mean? But no matter which event they went to, it was Paco, Hef, Paco, Hef, Paco, Hef. Then, Paco started having puppies. Paco shit was hitting. Hef didn't do as good on the puppy side, but other stuff started coming in. But you start having Team Paco this. Then, of course, y'all see how it does in the American Bully world. But that's when everything, if you think about it, those years after that, it was just a pocket race. Although the bigger, like the Remy line, American Bullies and stuff like that, you still had Ruger come along. You had some very nice bigger dogs come along. On that day, a star was born and a breed was born. I'm not gonna lie to y'all at all. Without the emergence of the pocket in the way, and no, I'm not saying that I'm the reason, but I did have an eye for this shit, as I always tell you. I had an eye for it, but I'm not taking credit for Paco, and I'm not taking credit for Marco's work before y'all say that. But Marco will tell you, when I seen him, yeah, I was one of the very first people that wanted to set up a breeding and have Marco have my dog flown out there to Marco. It was the shit. It was actually a Little Ro daughter. Yeah, but that one setting. Shout out to Larry Durant. Shout out to Marco Suarez. Actually, shout out to Dave Wilson, because I'm not going to tell y'all the truth. And even though, things didn't went awry, Dave Wilson, Cruz, Mike Devils did, them brothers saw the future. And when that shit was smacked right in front of their face, the ABKC was coming. And it was coming strong. That was, to me, I always will say that was one of the greatest shows in American Bully history. You had legends in the building. Like I told you, Nemesis, 21. I'm missing dogs, by the way. I'm missing dogs. There was a lot of dogs in there, man. A lot of people. Ed Shepard, like I said, Ed Shepard was there. Dave Wilson was there. Pratt's was there. Oscar Gomez was there. We just talking about dog people. Who else was in the house? I think American Iron Kennels was there. You had some Mike Land representation. You had the Gotti Line crew. You don't see shows like this no more. It's one of the best days in American Bully history, man. And it's all thanks to the great Larry Durant. And, God rest you, brother, if you're gone. But I wanted to tell that story, man, because it just took it back to where we can get back to. Buildings with 1,500 to 2,000 people, 2,500 people. Everybody in there got along. It wasn't no arguments, no fights, none of that, besides the girl getting her finger bit. But it was a lot of love going on in that building, and the culture was created. You know what I mean? Like I said, you had celebrities and this and that and the other. They didn't even need security in that moment. It was that kind of event, and that's what launched us worldwide. When that show was happening, nobody knew about us in Europe. Nobody knew about us in all these other crazy places. But within, literally from that show to within the next 2 years, The breed went from being, you know, urban culture, down low type of thing to worldwide phenomenon. And like I say, I give credit to everybody and every dog I just put in there. It's a lot of love, man. But a great way to start off the year, reminiscing. Hopefully we can get that culture back to where everybody is all about the dogs, man. Until next time, y'all, much love. Peace.